All right, here we go. You ready?
hmm hmm
All
hmm
right. Welcome to the Educator and the Hustler. We're glad you're here because we're about to get real about the challenges and wins in education. So let's get into it. I am Laura Burke. I'm the educator. Who are
My
you?
name is Frederick Shegog, and I'm the hustler, aka Freddy. Mm.
All right. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things on this podcast. This is our very first episode, so we're just like taking a risk and trying it out.
Yep.
Um, and we're going to start by kind of how we met and how this sort of blend of the two of us has become a thing. So,
hmm
um, Freddie, do you want to talk about how we met, or do we want to talk about who we are first?
Let's talk about who we are, and then you talk about how we met, and then I'll
Okay.
talk about how we met, and then we'll get into it.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So, I have been an educator for 25 years.
Mm.
Started in Denver Public Schools. Was born and raised in Denver. I'll get into like my school experience later, but ended up being a special education teacher, and so taught kids with mild, moderate disabilities, learning disabilities, ADD, all of that. Um, and did things a little bit differently the whole way in my education. So I like created a lot of programs. I did self-advocacy for kids, things like that. Ended up working at the district level at one point in a different district and totally reluctantly became a leader. Wasn't really on my radar to be a leader ever, but was sort of encouraged into it. And then my last gig was to start an entrepreneurial school for kids, K-8, public magnet school in Aurora, very diverse school. And I did that thing, which was crazy. And after I did that for a couple of years, I just sort of had this moment in the spring last year of 24, this past spring, that I just knew I was done doing that. I had come to do what I was meant to do, which was to open the school, but not to run it forever. And so I stepped down, and now I'm doing all kinds of other things. So I'm doing a podcast, and I'm writing a book about opening that school,
Mm.
and doing speaking and consulting all around entrepreneurial skills and how you can like use them in your everyday life for all kinds of things. Um, so that's kind of what I'm up to now. Yeah. And Freddie, you're on.
All right. Well, bless you first and foremost. What an honor it is. I've been saying for years I want to do a podcast. I believe God puts things in your life when He's meant to. Um, So yes, just grateful that we met. My name is Frederick Shegog. I go by Freddie. I only get called Frederick when I get on my wife's nerves. That happens to be a lot. But no, my name is Freddie. My background is simple. It is recovery, mental illness, mental health, and life. I feel like my college degree was life. Um, how did I get here? Well, after years of dysfunction and struggling with mental illness and substance use disorder and dysfunctional families and life and pain, I had a moment where I wanted to die and God wouldn't let me. And a man found me. I went to treatment, got out. After about a year, went back to school for the sixth time, which we'll talk about. And went to school. I wrote my story in English. The school read it, and the rest is history. Um, it has been a heck of a journey, and I'm glad that I've been given this gift. I'm glad that I have people around me help support it, with you being one of them. And now my full time job is I speak around now the globe, right? And I'm writing my first book. I got this podcast, and the bottom line for me is just getting policy to be in rooms where people that not only look like me, but people that are born on the low end of the social determinants of health, which we'll get into. The fight for the people that can't fight. That's my goal and job now. I just got my master's. Next is my PhD, which I'm going through right now. And so, yeah, that's where it is. And then we'll get into how we met each other. But bottom line is, this isn't work for me. I just believe this is what I was meant to do. And I believe I am who, like, I literally work to be Freddie. So,
Yeah. Awesome. I think what's funny is like over the years that we've known each other, we've had
Mm,
lots and lots of conversations because we're on two different ends of the country. So I'm in
yep,
Colorado, you're outside of Philly, right?
yep, yep,
And so we talk a lot, always through Zoom, almost always through Zoom,
yep.
about all different kinds of things related to education, whether it was our own
Mm,
experiences, whether it was our experiences now as adults, working in the system, right outside of the system, any of that.
mm,
And every time we talk, I'm like, oh my God, like we're either on the same page completely about something, and it seems like
mm,
everybody else doesn't get it, but like you and I get
mm,
it,
mm,
or we're bringing different perspectives to each other that
mm,
makes either one of us think differently about whatever it is that we're talking about.
mm,
Um, and again, like to your point, sometimes it's around policies, sometimes it's around, the things that we're witnessing in schools or experiencing now and post-COVID, but even pre-COVID. And so there's so many things that like we've talked about that a few
mm.
months ago I was like, you know what? I was like, we should probably be recording this and have a podcast. Like, if for no other reason, just for like other people to hear that two people from entirely different backgrounds from the day we were born
Yep.
have like these pretty rich conversations and these conversations that maybe other people should be hearing and maybe some of that perspective can maybe help them or shift the way that they're thinking or acting out there in the world. And so I was like, oh, we should do a podcast. And you're like, oh, I've always wanted to do a podcast. And I was like, cool,
Mm.
let's do a podcast. So here
Yep.
we are. Um, do you want to talk about how we first met? Because I think, like you have
Yeah.
said, that's an important piece of this.
Yeah. And yeah, because I think that'll jump the conversation. So one of the things, the way my business is all marketing. Like I have a gift, but the reality is my gift can't get out there unless I have a platform and people see me. So a lot of my work is done on LinkedIn. So I go on LinkedIn every day, search message. And I had put a post up and you liked it. And
And
I'm
when was
about,
that?
uh,
Is 5 years ago, maybe?
yeah, a
Yeah.
long time. I mean, this is the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, probably like 5 years ago. So, um, yeah, I'm like on there and you write me back. I said, I'm never sure if I don't know how it went initially, but what I do will forever remember and what your energy and just told me you were a good human was that you said to me, it was right during the whole George Floyd. And you said, how can I, with my white skin, be of help and use my power to leverage to make things better? And when I first read it, I was like stunned because I personally have never met somebody that looks like you from your background ask me how to help in the community. Like I've had people that look like you be helpful to me, be kind to me, and uplift me. Like without question, that's how my business really has gone. Not intentionally, that's just how it's gone. But never on the level of how can I help your community. And the way I was raised to look at that when you reached out is not how I responded. The way I was raised to look at it is you don't mean well, or there's something else to that, or why do you care? I'm real defensive. The reason I'm defensive is because if you look at the history of the wonderful United States of America, when people that look like you want to help people like me, there's something to come with it. We can't trust it because history don't show us to trust it. And I'm grateful I was mature enough that I was able to see that and not react to that immaturely. And I was actually able to take that in whole and think about it and respond. And thank God I did because look how it's worked out. Right. And so I don't want to run from the fact that we obviously are two different races. We come from two different backgrounds. We have two different experiences in life. And I think that's the power of this podcast to show our differences is what makes us special. You know what I mean? I've worked with you at your school. I've seen the work we were able to do. Like, there's power in community, especially coming back from this trip from Africa. My whole identity about race has completely changed anyway. So I just think that we show the world that hey, like you can be from two different backgrounds, two different races, come together with two different perspectives And even if you don't see it the same, you can use those perspectives to make things better. And that's what we're able to do. Like the work we've been able to do, we've been really able to help some people. So yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Awesome. I always sort of giggle at that story only because I'm like, oh, how funny that like there was a time that we didn't know each other because it feels like I've known you forever,
I
right?
know. I know.
Uh, and and I feel like I remember reaching out to you, and here's what I remember about that.
Mhm.
I remember that your post was sort of this combination of mental health and the Black community, and
Mhm.
that was what I remember the most about it. And it was just kind of like advocating for that. And I was like, holy hell, like I bet that there's more to this story than what he's just like posting, right? Like what is the work that he's doing? I care deeply about mental health for all people. And I was like, you know what? Like I want to know this person. Like the work that he's doing matters and he's doing it in a way that seems different from what other people are doing. And so I wanted to reach out to say like first of all, like thank you for doing the work that you're doing. And also, I know the amount of privilege that I have and the amount of like spaces that if I'm talking or advocating for something, there's like different doors in, right? There's different avenues for that. Um, and we've talked before about like kind of the white savior thing and how there's a lot that sometimes is like it's a loaded sort of reach out, right? Or it's a loaded sort of I want to help. And the white savior thing is super real and something that early on in my career I struggled a lot with. And I definitely am like, can say, like, yeah, I admittingly was like very much in like a white savior complex in the first few years of my career, 25 years ago. And then over time, I did a lot of work around like learning about different race theory and different, courageous conversations and all of that different work that made me just more comfortable talking about it and realizing like, oh shit, I think I was in some of that like white savior mode for a while, and always kind of checking myself on that. And so I think that's an important element because I think there's a lot of people that are in that space that haven't recognized that they're in that space or they get really defensive about being in that space. And it's like, look, if you are just like figure that out so that you can move through that and past that and not just stay stuck in that, right? Like kids especially kids in all different kinds of schools, like they don't need us to save them, right? They need us to believe in them. They need us to believe in them in ways that maybe they don't believe in themselves yet. And then provide those opportunities and develop those skills in them that they can actually do something out in the world. But they don't need our saving. And that was a big realization for me many years ago. So I remember when I reached out to you, I didn't want it to appear that way. I wanted to just be me and be like, "Hey, I like the work you're doing. How can I help?" Right? Um, and and it would not have occurred to me at that time with the amount of people that use LinkedIn and the ways that we use it all the time reaching out to people. Sometimes it goes somewhere and sometimes it doesn't. But like, look how awesome that we've been able to like form a friendship that has, kind of lasted so many years and in so many different ways. So I'm glad that like you were open to that too, and I'm glad that I took the risk to reach out originally. So
Yeah. And let me say on your white savior thing, you know, I, I didn't really understand what that was until I got blessed to be in a book journey in South Africa, right? And I was at school, they picked me to be the head social media manager for it, did an internship. And so I had to pick out pictures every week, right? And so this girl, her name is Abby Bookwood. Shout out to Abby. She's a great human. She's doing she's a teacher now. She's doing great work. I'm a fan. Anyway, she was helping me understand how to work with the pictures and the people of South Africa. Because I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Africa. And she said, remember, when we go over to serve them, it's just that. We're not going over to bring our influence and our beliefs. We're going over there to serve what they already doing. And my whole life it was always like, if I'm going to feed the homeless, I'm coming here to help you. right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to do something, I'm coming here to help you. I had never thought of it in the way is I'm here to serve you. And then that brought me back to, real leaders serve first, right? Like you can't lead anything until you serve. So it was a real eye opener for me. And then also real quick, it taught me this whole lesson about being a follower. What do I mean by that? See, it would have been easier for me to just follow what I always been told and not even respond to you, not even talk to you. But that was a lesson and one of many that I need to be able to challenge the things I've been taught and challenge my own beliefs so that I can grow. Because otherwise, we're just raising robots. Like
Yeah.
otherwise, there's no critical thinking, and I don't want that. So you were a big lesson for me.
Well, and I wasn't even trying to be. So,
Thank God for LinkedIn.
all right. It's funny what you said about like bringing like serving other people first.
Mm-hmm.
And Brene Brown has a saying that's like you can't both serve someone and control them at the same time. So when you're trying to go and like be of service, you can't control the people you're serving, right? You can't say this is how
Right.
you should feel about this. This is how you should react to this. This is how I want you to view this. Like you're just servicing them in whatever that way that is. So, I heard that and I liked that because I think that there's sometimes in leadership you try to control the people and you're like, but I'm serving you, but it's like you're
Right.
also trying to kind of control the outcome of that and you sometimes can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm psyched that we're here. I'm psyched that we're gonna, dig into lots of different kinds of topics.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically around education, but education is not just a school building, right? It's
Yep.
education is part of the community. It's who you are when you come into school. It's the teachers, it's the kids, it's the parents. Like this really is for anybody that cares about the future of kids,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in an education space. So it could be community members, it could be teachers. We're going to be talking with different folks over time that are either community members or educators or in some kind of realm of that to get their take on it. So it won't always just be
Mm-hmm.
you and I. But I think something that matters to me is to be able to kind of like what you said, get out there that like we're totally different from different spaces, in the country and all different kinds of spaces and like almost every way you can imagine, like coming from some place, we've come from different places. And yet there's more that makes us similar than
Mm-hmm.
different. And there's
Absolutely.
ways that we can come together and we have. Well, I think about you, speaking to the kids at my old school, right? And mentoring
Mm-hmm.
them. And there's ways that we've come together that have made a difference. And so I think if we can inspire other people to see that, they can make a difference too by themselves with the energy that they bring to something. We can make people kind of think critically about some of their upbringing or some of their school experiences or some of the school experiences that they're involved in, providing for kids now. Um, and who are they partnering with, right? Like there's so much possibility out there. So that's what I'd really like to be able to inspire people with. Uh, and that's sort of my goal for this podcast. What about you?
Likewise. The other thing too about this podcast, I just, Africa had a deep, profound impact on me.
Yeah, and you just got back like last week, right, from a
Yeah,
speaking gig
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. Forget the lighting people. I'm figuring this all out, so you'll just get used to
You're
it.
fine.
But no, when I say Africa had a deep, profound on me, like it challenged everything I think about and believe. Totally. Like, so this podcast is coming right on time because there's some things now that I'm really looking at it and I'm really having some deep reflection about everything. Like everything on the table right now is getting turned over because what I just witnessed and what I just learned. I mean, if we're not about community, what are we doing? Like I remember being on Twitter one day. I was on a Twitter space one day, and it was late. This guy said, "We're all on the same rock, floating through space." Some of us have bigger cars, some of us have bigger houses, some of us eat more food, some of us have more wealth. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same rock, pumping the same blood floating through space. We got to be together because if not, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think especially now when people are so divided in so many ways,
Ah,
like the more we can come together, the more we can like be in this together, the better it is for everybody. There's a phrase that I used to say, this was Eleanor Roosevelt, and I used to
mm,
say this on the announcements at the school every single morning. I would sign
mm,
off with the phrase, "We all do well when we all do well."
yeah,
And it
yeah,
became a phrase that the kids would repeat, when they would hear me over the intercom, the kids would repeat it in their classes too. And that is such like it goes so well with your idea of like if we're not about community, what are we doing here, right? Like we all
absolutely.
do well. When one of us does well, we all do well. So why are we focusing on our differences more than what we have in common and where we can find that common ground and how we can move everybody forward, especially young kids that are, sifting their way through this world, like, and they're trying to figure out how they're being raised and the school experiences they're having. And like, they're going to be the next generation running everything for us. So,
Right.
what are we doing to not only like prepare them with skills, but like make them the kind of humans that believe that when we all do well, we all do well. That believe that like it's all about community and like if they're not about community, then like what are they doing? Right?
Yeah. And to your point, I promise you there's no Freddie, there's no Message LLC, there's no Africa, there's no new family, there's my whole life is I was raised by a single parent mom. My whole life is community. Like my whole life is people outside. Everything about me is community. Like I have I have a business where people have to trust me to speak to their communities. Like I
Yeah.
don't have a choice to just only be with this group or only be with that group. I don't control who call me to ask me to speak. I don't control who want to work with me. I don't control now I control who I can pick, but I definitely don't control how it come in. I definitely don't control, the students that I interact. Like my business is, I mean, I travel the globe. Like, how can I not be about community? How can I not think in a way of, I mean, I have to be. Even, you think about it, I land somewhere I've never been before. And I got to
Yeah.
share my life story with people I've never met. That's a risk,
Yeah.
right? Like, so yeah, community. In Africa, they got this saying, it's called Ubuntu. If I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. It means I am because you are, right?
Yeah.
So I am who I am because you're good. And I think part of this is capitalism, which we'll get into. I think part of it is the fact that we haven't healed from how this country was built. I think part of it is just overall, I think capitalism creates a self
Hmm.
and not we, right? Because at the end of the day, self-preservation is the first law of nature,
Yeah.
right? Like I gotta survive. But my whole thing is if I got 10 apples, my family eat two, I save one, I can't give some away. Like I just, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, but again, like I think a lot of this dude's upbringing all that. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to get into some interesting topics. There's a lot of things out there right now. There's AI, there's so
Pick a
many
topic.
different topics, right?
Right.
But I think, where we're going to start is really where we came from, our own school experiences. So next time we're going to talk about, what our school experiences were, how they sort of shaped us, in kind of who we became as adults, and I think give some advice to schools and to educators and to parents even that are maybe struggling with some things, and how they're going about things with kids now. So I'm excited to like keep chatting with you.
I'm very excited too because I can't wait to talk about these issues because what I know now from what I didn't know at 15,
Hmm.
if me and my mom could have been equipped with this information that I know now, and that's why it's so good talking to you because you were the white lady as the principal. And
Yeah.
I was the kid coming in with the single parent mom who's tired, who got stuff going on, who's educated, but because of our backgrounds, when we sit at that table, I always say we should have sat down and ate dinner first. Then,
Yeah.
then, then had a convo about how to help Freddie. But when you're coming in and she had to take a day off work, or when she had to get called in from work, and she's a single parent, and social worker, so she knows she's poor, and she trying to raise me, and I got issues, and she's trying to stay sober, and she got family pressure on her back, which is another issue we'll talk about, and she's tired, and she got to come in, and she sees you, and you
Yeah.
might have just seen 10 of my moms that weren't so nice, and you're human, and then there's policies, right? Oh, it's just a very good day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all super relatable
Yeah, it's
for
all,
sure.
and I think a lot of times the communication get broke down. Like what's crazy, what's crazy is in talking to you before I would have known you the way I was just raised and what I've seen, I wouldn't think that you would understand my mental health journey. And in learning you, you understand it just as well as I do. Like, and that's what I want people to really understand. Like, stop looking at the book, open it to see, oh, you went through that. Oh, that happened. Oh, like,
Yeah.
like, oh, whoa, oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not about everyone else's story or what works for everybody or what the any textbook or any manual or anything tells you is a strategy to use for a kid. It's about knowing that kid inside and out, knowing what works, what doesn't, building that trust, and then being able to kind of go through it together. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
we're human. People realize that we're human.
yeah,
Human.
yeah. We're all just trying to figure it out. So,
Yeah.
all right. I'm
So
glad we get to figure it out together.
I am too. So I want to ask anything that you were currently working on that you think the crowd viewers should know about that's very important to you right now that you want to put out there.
Ooh, good question.
Mhm.
I think when I'm really like pivoting to
Mhm.
is speaking, as I'm writing the book about building the school, it occurred to me that what I'm talking about throughout the book is very much the seven entrepreneurial skills that
Mhm.
we were instilling in the kids.
Mhm.
So those skills, collaborate, innovate, risk taking,
Mhm.
recognize an opportunity, critical thinking, got my cheat sheet, learn from failure,
Mhm.
and stay curious. So those are the seven skills that I realized are not just for entrepreneurs. They're
Mhm.
actually for everybody, for every part of their lives. And when I think back about things and ways that I've got through different things in my life, it's because I used one of those skills. And I may not have known it at the time, but they've made a huge impact. So, yeah, so what I'm doing is some speaking and workshops around those to like help people understand like you can use these entrepreneurial skills in your everyday life and here's how I've used them, getting people to reflect on their lives, making goals around that. So that's really what I'm, kind of focused on kind of my sort of my brand side of things.
Mhm.
And what about you? What are you working on that you want people to know about?
Um, so I'm writing my first book. It's treacherous.
Samesies.
It's treacherous because you know, it's treacherous, man. I was born a deep thinker. So it's hard to just put, this is my story to the world. So
Yeah.
there's some things that need said that's very uncomfortable. Um, and the fact that my mom just passed in March. Shout out to mama. So it's been a heck of a year, right? I'm writing a book in the same year I got my master's. My mom died and went to Africa. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah. That and then the other part too is I'm trying to build my YouTube. That's really hard to do. My career worked backwards. I became national, well, global now. I gotta get used to saying it. I became global before I became internet hot. And it normally doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Um, and so working on that. And then the other thing too is just I'm at a point right now where I feel like I'm going from how I was raised to what's true. And I think that there's truth in how I was raised, and there's truth. And when I say what's true, what I mean is trying to figure out what was not, what is not the best for me. What do I need not to take from what I was raised, and what do I need to take from it? Because I'm real. My mindset right now is real big on genetic lotto. What do I mean by that? Meaning, I thought this whole thing was all about hard work. I really believe that. I don't think that way no more because my experience has shown me what you were born into is going to have a massive impact on where you end up. Massive. From a thinking standpoint, a financial standpoint, a networking standpoint. And so I'm trying to figure out, I feel like I'm outgrowing a lot of the things I was taught. And when I say outgrowing it, meaning just some of them things helped me get here, but some of them things would absolutely stop me from getting here. And I feel like I'm in a
Yeah.
stage of growth figuring that out. And it's uncomfortable because I don't think all of it was personal. I think some of it was lack of wanting to grow up. I think some of it was it's easy to follow than it is to challenge. And I also think some of it is I can't teach you what I don't know. So that's where Freddy's at.
And that is why I love you because like you are so vulnerable and honest and authentic and like ain't nobody got time for anything other than that, right? So like so by you being that way, by me being that way, by just putting ourselves out there, it helps other
Yeah,
people, either see themselves in us or in those that they work with. And they can actually, I don't know, get farther and make more change, I think, than pretending or pushing things under the rug, you know?
I agree. And I want to say this too, since this is our first episode, because I think it's very important. I want people to know this, and I deeply mean this. I started my company on my own. I was going to do a podcast. I'm writing a book and all that stuff. I work alone. When I say I work alone, meaning I, I have ownership of my stuff. I did that intentionally. I purposely wanted to do this podcast with you, especially once you brought it up, because you showed me that what I went through in school does not have to be the story for everybody. What do I mean by that? Meaning, you showed me that there are principles that do care beyond the grant and numbers. There are teachers that do care beyond the job description. There are people that when they go to work and they might not be able to relate to your background and issues, they still want to see how they can help you and not in a demeaning and not in a rotten way. Like my schooling was extremely traumatic. The things that happened to me, I didn't deserve, right? The system wasn't set up for my issues. And so meeting you was life changing in so many ways. Quick story: when you put me in your in the what's that book? The
The
yearbook.
yearbook, the yearbook. You came to do a speaking thing with our
Yes,
kids, and there was pictures of you speaking
yes.
to our kids. Yeah.
I When that yearbook came, I cried and cried and cried because it was the first yearbook that I met that I felt like I was a real part of. I felt like I was in a real family of school and learning. But the deeper issue is when I sent it to my mom, and I'll never forget when she got it. She said, "Finally." I said, "What?" She said, "Finally a yearbook. And when I look at this picture, I don't see stress. I don't see like, and that's so I want people to know that this podcast is deeper than just we're on paper, we're starting a podcast, let's see how much it grow, get sponsored. Like this is really personal. This is really, we're giving y'all real game on what we've learned, what we've seen. I mean, you're talking about somebody who's been in education for double decades, right? You're talking about somebody that's been in this my whole life. Listen, I felt out of 6 schools. One thing I do know how to do is apply and go to college, right? Like, my high school was all that was just, it was a mess. So I want people to understand we just ain't doing this because we bored. This is real stuff. So let it be known, Miss Laura. You always get mad I call you Miss Laura, make you feel old. But let it be known, Miss Laura is you're as real as they come. You're a true gift to education, and I'm thankful for you.
Well, you're amazing, and I love that story, and thank you. You were as much a gift to me and to everyone that gets the fortunate opportunity to hear you, listen to you, be around you. You make a huge difference. So, all right.
All
I'm
right.
excited for next time. We're going to talk about kind of our school experiences, and then we'll see kind of where that takes us. So, it's our first time, so I appreciate like the grace that everyone's giving us as they are listening or watching.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks.
we've got a closing. So, Freddie, you want to do the closing?
Yes, I do. Okay. Now, I want to thank you for hanging out with us. Let's use our powerful energy to create change one student at a time.
Amazing. Can't wait for next time.
I'm either. Peace.